I learned that really transformed my life and my emotional well-being. And I'm so surprised we're not taught this in school because I don't recall algebra. Do you? I don't even remember functions and all of that kind of stuff, but we should be taught this in school. And this is the Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zainab. I'm so happy to have you here today. So today I wanted to talk about how I mastered my emotions. I'm so happy to announce that I launched my second book, which is Master Your Emotions. And I wanted to give a little bit of a backstory on this. So a couple of years ago, I was going through a hard time in my life. Let's just say I was at rock bottom. I faced a lot of rock bottoms, but this rock bottom was completely different. Went through an accident, had an injury, moved, a lot of things going on in life. And I talked about this before, but got to the point where my coping mechanisms of running away from myself wasn't working anymore. Emotional eating, overeating, distracting myself, going out, working, overworking, whatever coping mechanisms we have to distract ourselves wasn't working. Got to the point where all the stuff that was trapped inside of me, like the emotions, the trauma, the pain, it all started to come up. And I was so overwhelmed because I've never felt those type of emotions. Like I felt stress, I felt frustration, but like disappointment and anger and being upset and guilt and shame and all of that kind of stuff. I was so overwhelmed, and I thought that maybe therapy would help. Like my doctor said, maybe you should try that because, talking about emotions can help you. And to be honest, I don't really think it helped me because talking about the past just kind of keeps you stuck there. And I did a ton of research and read a ton of self-help books, and I was able to learn and find practices and tools that helped me. So kind of think of it as like a toolkit, and I put all these things in the toolkit that helped me manage my emotions. I guess it's called emotional regulation. And when I did that and I had a practice or practices that worked for me, I decided to make this little guide, and it contains all the tips and tricks I use up to this point that have helped me manage my emotions, stress, and all of that kind of stuff is in here. Complaining and venting is great. I think sometimes it's nice to just talk to someone and be heard. I think that that's normal. We're humans and social beings, and that's a part of life. But how much, right? I feel like the more you complain and vent to people or hear complaints, it's so draining. And when you're doing that, you're kind of putting your happiness and the power in someone else's hands, right? Well, I feel so upset about this. Let me go talk to so and so about it, and they're gonna make me feel better, or they're gonna hear me out, and I just need that release. And I just think that that definitely disempowers you because, again, you're putting the power in their hands. So what I started to do was I started to take control over my own emotions. So if I felt stressed out, if I had a long day at work, I would go to my toolkit and see what kind of tools I can use to make me feel better. Sometimes it would just be I need a nap to reset because I didn't have enough sleep. That makes sense. When you don't sleep well, you're obviously going to be more irritated. Your cravings are all over the place, so you're going to want to eat junk food because you're stressed out. You're in flight or fight mode, so you're gonna need a nap. Going for a walk, getting sunlight, going to the water and just sitting there. And sometimes I can't think straight because I'm so overwhelmed or super consumed by the problem. But when I go outside, get fresh air, sit by the water, it calms me down, and I'm able to now think clearly, have great ideas, and I'm able to make better decisions, I guess you can say. And the number one thing that I learned that really transformed my life and my emotional well-being, and I'm so surprised we're not taught this in school because I don't recall algebra. Do you? I don't even remember functions and all of that kind of stuff, but we should be taught this in school. And this is the emotional guidance scale. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. The Emotional Guidance Scale by Abraham Hicks, and it's in the book Ask and It's Given. that is one of the greatest tools that I can recommend to you that has really helped transform my life. So basically, I've included it in here for context, but let's say you're on number 17, you're super angry about something. The goal for this emotional guidance skill is for you to get relief from the emotion, right? So suppressing your emotions and putting them away doesn't work. We all know that, but we still try. But acknowledging it and letting it sit definitely helps you to get to the next level. So you can acknowledge, hey, look, I'm super angry and upset because I didn't get the promotion, right? And then looking at up the list, you can go to maybe number 16, like discouragement. So you acknowledge you're angry, then maybe you go to discouragement. Now it feels like you're never gonna get the promotion. So that makes sense. You're angry and you think you're not gonna get the promotion. And then maybe you go into worry. How am I gonna pay the bills? Then maybe you go into disappointment. Then you go into maybe feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you go into number 9, which is pessimism. Moving up that scale gives you relief from the anger, and that is working towards your um, higher vibrational emotions, and it makes you feel better. And then from negativity, maybe you go into hopefulness, optimism, and then you're up in the top 5 high vibration emotions. So the top 5 are high vibration emotions, and the bottom few are lower vibration emotions. So the point of this skill is not to make you ignore your emotions, it's to acknowledge it and work through it. So how I personally do it is I'll take a journal and I'll go through the list of the emotions and see what I'm feeling. You can label how you feel and then go up the scale. It doesn't have to be like in order. So like if you're at number 17, you have to go to number 16. You can jump from 17 to 13 and move up. The goal is to get you to the top 5 emotions, and then from there you can get relief. And you'll find that once you do this, you acknowledge how you feel and you say how you feel, it'll help you move up the scale. Here's the thing, I freaking hate journaling because I hate saying how I feel, but it honestly makes a huge difference, and it helps you like release. The other thing that I also talk about is the emotional freedom technique, short for EFT. And basically what this is there is a bunch of acupuncture points or acupressure points on your body, and you tap on them and you say an affirmation. So there's 3 rounds of tapping on 9 points, and you say affirmations. So whatever issue you're going through, and you want to start off with the benchmark of how you're feeling. So you'll do 1 round and say how you feel from 1 to 10, 10 being intense, 1 being not that intense. You do the second round and then you say how you feel now, and then you do the last round. Generally, each round will bring you down. And this is also another great tool that I learned that has really changed my life. And I definitely do this once a week because I really didn't realize that the mind body connection is so real, and like whatever you go through, if you don't process it, it gets stored in your body. So sometimes people might have chest pain because you're super stressed out, right? Or you might have like shoulder pain because there's some issue that you're not dealing with. So doing the tapping, so it's like your karate chop point here, which is this helps to calm you down, to regulate your nervous system, your eyebrow, the side, under your eye, your nose, chin, collarbone, under your armpits, and the top of your head. So I can leave the link for the one that I use. It's by Gabrielle Bernstein, and that one really does help. So if you're ever feeling very overwhelmed or something comes up for you and you don't know what to do, you can try that. This by any means is not a replacement for therapy. If you feel like you need it, definitely take it. These are just tips and tricks that have helped me, and practices that I use that have helped me clear out old energy and emotions and kind of get to a better state. But you should definitely do what you think would be best for you. A ton of great practices in here, and I go through every single thing that I use. The last thing that I'm just going to share quickly on this is yoga. I never thought yoga was helpful. I didn't really understand yoga, but once I started to do it in my rock bottom phase, it really did help me. Yoga is the act of slowing down, holding those poses for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, depends on the type of yoga you're doing. It forces you to slow down, hold the pose, and focus on your breath. So kind of like when people do cold plunges, they sit in the cold water and they don't get out, they breathe through that. That's basically what yoga is, breathing through holding the pose, and it really grounds you. The thing I wanted to say is that emotions are kind of like a wave in the ocean, where when the wave goes up, it's super intense, your emotions. But then when the wave crashes, the ocean is calm. That's kind of like what your emotions are. So a lot of times when we get that intensity of stress or being upset, whatever, it's super intense and we want to push it away. But if you just let it work through you and take deep breaths, once that anger passes or that stress passes, you're calm and clear. It's kind of like a reset. So it's important to learn to be uncomfortable with being comfortable with the emotions, and sooner or later you'll be able to master them and use them to benefit you instead of hindering you. So for me personally, like a lot of times when I was upset, that's it. My whole day is done. I'm consumed by this problem, and that's like I can't do anything else. Now I understand that certain things might make me feel certain ways, but instead I channel the emotions by going to the gym or basically using the emotions as fuel to my fire to do better. I don't allow external circumstances that much to tell me how to feel or to dictate how my day is going to go. I can acknowledge it, but I channel it in a different way. It's kind of like controlled rage. If you read the book Relentless by Tim Grover, he talks about that, how some of his athletes that he was coaching, you might have, pain and trauma and anger, but bring it to the basketball court and channel that emotion there to kind of make yourself better. So that's food for thought. So the best way to get out of your mind sometimes is to bring yourself into your body by grounding yourself. So you can either ground yourself by holding your forearms or placing your feet flat on the ground or on the grass outside, doing yoga and things like that. But the point is for you to proactively do something about your emotions in a healthy way. Do yoga once a week to do a reset for the week, and it really does help me just calm down, think clearly, de-stress, And also on that token, working out, emotions are motion, so make sure you're moving. So a lot of times if you have a long day and you go for a walk or you work out, you'll start to notice you feel better because you're channeling that energy through your body and out of your body. So I hope these tips really helped you and that you learned something new. If you want me to talk more about this, I definitely can. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the